Hey Crafty Babes, it's Andrea and I'm super excited to show you some more Traveler's Notebook pages. I have finished up this second Traveler's Notebook and I have almost completely filled a third. So we're going to go through the end of this and then see how much of this one we can get through. So last time we ended at this page. So this is a page that I did for Ellie Studio using some of their stamps and wood veneer, and I had a lot of fun using just kind of two simple colors from this. And then another part that was really fun was using a different colored pen for certain words so that they stuck out a little bit. That's always something fun. And I also did some stapling, which meant that I had to do a little bit of fudging on the other side to make the staples not show through, but I'll show you a little tip on that. So on this next page, it's actually kind of a, I don't know, like it goes both ways. So it's vertical on the one page, and then there's a word brave that goes the other way horizontal on this side. So what I did to cover up the staple, the back of the staple on this side, was I just used some foam tape to kind of set this tab off of the page a little bit. That way kind of just disguised the fact that there was the back of the staples there, which is totally fine. I think it worked out well, and you can't really tell, and it's a nice thick divider little tab that you can use to turn the page. So this page includes a lot of the Reset Girls Adored kit, and I really just felt like there was so much about that kit I wanted to use, and so this was really fun. I also, just the main point of this was this meme that I found. It says, "Note to self, being grateful in crappy circumstances does not mean you are oblivious or sappy or fake. It means you are brave and stubborn enough to scrabble around for whatever bits of goodness you can find, and smart enough to cherish them." And I just feel like that's so my life. That I just really needed to document that. And this word is from Bella Boulevard, and I love these small acrylic words. They are not very thick at all, and they're really light, so they're really nice for traveler's notebooks. I thought it would be maybe too thick, but it's really nice. This page here is just a one page that I did to document my very first Snapchat filter. I'm hashtag only here for the filters. But it was a fun, really quick page that I had a lot of fun doing this one. I think I love doing the Traveler's Notebook in this horizontal direction. This was a really fun page. It was like almost like a completely different layout, right? Because you now all of a sudden have all this space this way instead of space going up and down. So really, at first it was like, how do I fill this up? But it was really, really awesome. And you'll see in my next notebook that I've done a lot more this way. So I just needed to document that I got a new Funko Pop Peggy Carter. She's like my hero. So I punched these old radios out of an old Dina Rudder collection, and then just pulled some reds and blues from my stash, and I used my Pebbles type stamp. I guess it's called an alpha stamp. I'm not really sure, but I used this quote that said, "Some girls are not made to sit at a typewriter." And that just reminds me of her so much, is that's what they wanted her to do, but she was such a badass. And I didn't put anything on the other side of this just because these words are really thick, and I just didn't feel like I could comfortably put anything back there. So that is the end of this particular insert. Moving on to this one. It is another handmade insert. It's just cardstock on one side and filled with paper. So this is one of my favorite layouts because it's just one of my favorite quotes from my favorite movie. So from Steel Magnolias, Truvy, she says, "And I can usually spot a bottle job at 20 paces," which is just so her and so cute. And since I took a picture of my bottle as I was dyeing my hair, I just thought it was perfect. And I used all Felicity Jane stuff here because the colors were absolutely perfect. This is a really fun layout that I did using some 3x4 cards from Turquoise Avenue. And she is making all kinds of really fun inserts, and every purchase goes toward her adoption fund. So her and her husband decided to adopt a baby, and I am super happy to support that. So I wanted to make sure to definitely get on board and support. And she's got a weekend one, she's got a dog one, a snack one. You'll see that I've used a couple of them in here. So this was super fun. I basically paired her pink weekends designs with some bright green. These two things are from a Becky Higgins collection when she put out a couple of like die cut packs. And just some extra like little green things that I had in my stash and made it work. It's always fun to just kind of grab a color and then grab another color and make it work. This is a Felicity Jane layout that I did when Jane came out, which was the collection for March. I just knew I had to use this quote. So I've seen this around. I'm sure you have too. It says, "I'm not a ride or die chick. I have questions. Where are we riding to? Why do I have to die? And can we get food on the way?" It's just so perfect. That just reminds me of, it's very me, and she just looks like the kind of girl that's gonna have questions. So here's another horizontal layout that I did. This one is, it was so weird that I had this picture of myself in this shirt, and then the Felicity Jane kit had some cut aparts that had the same exact pattern in one of the 3x4 cards. And I thought, okay, is it super cheesy to use it on the same layout, or is it like perfectly meant to be? So I decided to roll with it. And to even mimic the little buttons that are on the top of my shirt, I use these two little cork hearts. I just thought that if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go all for it. So, and this was also the first time that I came up with layering doilies, and I just cannot get enough. I mean, I'm already a doily user, but I had never considered layering them until I just kind of started grabbing two, and then I had them in my hand together, and I was like, oh my gosh, they look amazing together. So that's how this came apart. And then what I did, that's how this came about. And so then what I did was just found kind of one of my very favorite quotes from Dirty Dancing, because this shirt reminds me of Baby Houseman when she goes and visits her dad on the golf course, and it just kind of reminds me of that whole scene. But one of my favorite things that Patrick Swayze's character says in the movie is, the steps aren't enough. You need to feel the music. And I just feel like that's what life is really about, is it's just not just stepping through life. You really have to feel the life. So I thought that that's where I was going with this page. This is using this gorgeous kit from Tracy Reed Designs. It's called Lisbeth, and it's available at Sweet Shop Designs. And this kit is like amazing. Look at these colors, and then how perfect does this planner honey from the Reset Girl go with this kit? So there are journal cards, and there are a ton of embellishments and all kinds of really fun pattern papers. I printed all of this stuff at home and have so much of it waiting to be used because there's just so much of it. I cannot wait to get my hands on even more. So this was just a fun, no pictures, but I just really liked this quote, and I thought that she just looked like that kind of girl that wore her scars as her best attire. You just never know what people are going through, and so I really like that, the idea of just documenting that. Again, with the vertical layouts, I think we're this might be the last one for now. But as you can see, I really like the size. So this is a photo of me from just a random day, but what I am using here is a new Traveler's Notebook kit by Carrie Bradford, and it is all kinds of gorgeous. I mean, these yellows and greens together just were perfect. So I used it as, actually this picture was from Thursday 3. So I used this picture and then listed the 3 things for my Thursday 3. And I am loving this kit. Here is a layout that I made using the Reset Girls Lovely kit. And these letters, these create letters, were actually on a 3x4 card, but I didn't like the way that the card physically looked on the page, so I just took my X-Acto knife and cut them out. Just laid them in the same way. Felt cleaner and better that way. And this little bag here was given to me at PlannerCon. There was a really sweet girl, and she was handing out little goodie bags, and the colors, I just couldn't have made them any more perfect. So I just decided to use the bag, and then I just wrote a little note to myself in there and paper clipped it on with this really cute paper clip, and used some of the Wordfetti strips and just kind of threw stuff all around to make it feel like very creative, because the goal here was just create your own path. And my favorite thing, honestly, about this whole entire layout is the stitch stamp. So she's got a zigzag stitch stamp in the Lovely kit. It is so fun. I'm basically using it everywhere. Here is another collection by Turquoise Avenue, and this is the snack one. It just so happened that I had already taken this picture of popcorn, and so it was just totally meant to be. So I just cut a couple of I cut a couple of strips from one of the cards to make this little border, and then kind of used it as a faux pocket page layout, because you've just got the two little pocket cards there. This layout here is just super fun. I don't get to use a lot of red in my layouts, and it's my favorite color. So I had this picture of myself with this red shirt on, and I've had this quote in my personal stash for a long time. So I really thought that it was a great time to use it. So I just used an older piece of red pattern paper back here, and I used this My Journey flare piece from Felicity Jane, and then just did a little bit of journaling here. The quote says, "She was beautifully out of place. Sometimes I believe she intended to be, like the moon during the day." And I've just kind of always felt like I am different enough to not look like everybody else or be like everybody else, but I'm not so different that I stand out too much and draw too much attention to myself. There's like this balance that I've been at my whole life, and I just felt like that was something I needed to get down and document. This is probably one of my very favorite layouts. It's so much fun. I've had this Kinda Classy Kinda Hood meme in my box for a while, and knew that this picture was kind of the best picture to use. So what I did here was I listed just all kinds of things that I love, and they're all different, like gangster rap, Harry Potter, puppies, drums, like sunsets. It's like, no, did I write sunsets? No, I didn't have sunsets on here. I wrote like quiet mornings and pretty scenery, like just the wide spectrums of being classy and being kind of hood. I mean, there's just, I think we all can relate to being a lot of different things. So, and then this camera is also from one of the Reset Girl kits. I believe this one was from Adored. Also, song lyrics are such a perfect way to make titles. So I bought myself a robe during the winter. It was cold all the time, and I was getting up really early in the mornings, and I really needed something to kind of keep myself cozy without turning the heater on and sweating everybody out of their bedrooms. So I always had the Taylor Swift song in my head, and you know, she says, "I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22." Well, when I wear my robe, I kind of feel 82. So that was how this came about. And just use some bright, fun colors. It was easy to do with this black and white photo. And that's what I love about black and white pictures too. Sometimes if you don't need the color in them, it's nice to just keep them black and white, and then you've got the freedom to use whatever colors you want. Here is another layout that I did using the Carrie Bradford kit. It's called Splendid, by the way, and it is absolutely splendid. And so I scrap lifted this idea from the Glue Stick Girl. I pinned one of her layouts into my Traveler's Notebook board a while ago, and I just loved the strips and the stitch down the middle. So hers had a few more stitches, but I just thought that I would do one, and it's really all about when I was totally jamming to Tupac one day at work. I had my headphones in and it was up really loud, and then all of a sudden I got a notification that Alyssa was Marco Poloing me, and I was like, what do I do? I'm really jamming, but I want to hear what she has to say, and so I was like super torn. And so I put that on my stories. When you're jamming but your girl is talking to you. I was honestly so torn. So this was a really fun layout to do. Another one using Splendid is this quote that I've had for a while. It says, I don't have a 9 to 5. I have a when I open my eyes to when I close my eyes. And that's just kind of how I was feeling this day. I was just tired, and it was a Monday, and just with being a mom and a wife and working and design teams and projects and just kind of everything that we all have going on. It's just, you just kind of go, and you just, at some point we putter out, and it's usually like the moment that I close my eyes, and my husband's like, how can you fall asleep so fast? And I'm like, I've been going mentally, physically all day long. Like when I'm done, my head hits the pillow. That is all she wrote. So, and that is all she wrote with this book too. I have 2 more pages that I can put into this insert, and then we are done, and we're moving on to a 4th book, and I'm super excited. I cannot get enough. I'm like flying through these notebooks. Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm so glad that I'm doing a traveler's notebook for my personal album, and I know that I've been blamed by a few of you for getting you started too, and I am #sorry not sorry, because it is a super fun format. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will talk really soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See ya.